गुरुभ्यो श्रीमदानंदतीर्थ भगवत्पादाचार्यो नमो नमः। नारायण परिपूर्ण गुणार्णवाय विश्वोदयस्थितितोलय नियतिप्रताय ज्ञानप्रताय विबुधासुर सौख्य दुःख सत्कारणाय विददाय नमो नमस्ते। यो विप्रलिम्ब विपरीतमतिप्रबुधान् वादान् नरस्य कृतवान् भुवि तत्त्ववादं सर्वेश्वरो हरिरीति प्रतिपादकं तम् आनन्दतीर्थमुनिवर्यं नमामि। पूज्याय राघवेन्द्राय सत्यधर्मरताय च भजतां कल्पवृक्षाय नमतां कामधेनुवे। सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। अत ईशावास्य उपनिषदः यज्ञेय उपनिषदः शान्तिपाठः। ओम पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते। ओम शांति शांति शांतिः। हरि ओम। Namaskaram. Welcome friends. I think we are once again on this path of exchanging our Veda Upanishad ideas. Mr. Amarnath has joined us, and apart from that, for our own purpose, we will just do a small recap of our journey till the mantra number 13, which we are going to do. We have done up to mantra number 12. First we started with mantra number 1 to 8. Now it is a part of, it has been, we can say the entire Upanishad can be taken into three parts. The part, mantra number 1 to 8, which gives the nature of God, how He has occupied the entire world, how He is controlling us, how He is enabling us to perform, how He has given us the powers, He looks after us, as well as He is also guiding us, and He is also giving all means to understand His realization to the extent possible. He cannot be understood in plenitude by anyone, in comprehension. No one can comprehend Him completely, because all of us acquire the knowledge in this world with all our senses and the sensory equipments, which are 24 in number. We have got Karmendriya, Jnanendriya and other senses, and all the Navadvara through which the prana is coming and make us prani. We are able to get the knowledge. When we get the knowledge from this world with this, from these senses, then we will have to internalize and start the inward journey. When we talk about Upanishad in Hindu Dharma, Sanatana Dharma, whatever we say, we are trying to have a internal realization, or we are trying to do our upasana, it is all internal journey. What we do outwardly, the puja, ritual, yajna and all, they are all the means. They are all the means to go through and sail through this world, as well as it also imparts the knowledge progressively as you grow, because finally we are in the childhood, then we get into the adulthood, and then we get into the grahasthar. As per our varnashrama, we will have to go to Ajnana, Aranya, and then finally we go to Sannyasa. That is how, we have got all this process which has been described. In those days, based on whatever was available, whatever the nature was bountiful, and we are able to live in sync with the nature. So the entire process of our living is totally in sync with the nature. Once where we get, little deviated from our living with the nature, then all the problems arises. And we are also weaned away from our own nature, which God has given us. God has bestowed us. He is trying to help us. We are getting away, and we are not able to get into our inward journey. This entire mantras describes us how best to get into your internal journey for your own good. God is not going to get anything. He has provided everything to you, and He has also looked after you. He only wants you to live in sync with other nature and other human beings. He says He is the controller in every human being. When He is a controller, whether you like a person or dislike a person, He is the controller for everyone. when He is there in everyone, you don't have any reason to like or dislike or go the other way. Nothing is there. You will have to take everyone as a part of the world. That's why we have got the concept of Vasudeva Kudumbakam. The entire world is one. See, we can't, because the states, nation states, as well as the continents, these are all the geographical bifurcation and the mental bifurcation we have created our own for the purpose of our own selfish goals and selfish needs. By taking away the resources from the other parts of the world, we are not going to be rich. Finally, it is going to affect us. This is exactly what has happened in the present day circumstances. See, now the world is very unusual. We are not able to just think about even 6 months before. Even February, Mr. Trump was here, on an official visit. He left this country only on February 29th. You just see in February what was the state of affairs. We never had any realization, we will be having such a lockdown life. We will be confined to our houses. We will have to depend upon so many other agencies to have even a normal life. And we also find how it has affected people, who are having a day-to-day living and all those things. The state of affairs have come basically, because the misutilization or the non-utilization of the resources as per the God's will. So it has given us first to 8 mantras how God has been manifested in this world, how He is occupying all the nook and corners. He is also inside you, and He is guiding you every time when you do anything and all. That's why we have narrated one incident earlier just for the purpose of repetition of our own understanding. When someone, the Somerset mom, had come and asked Ramana Maharishi, before Somerset mom, an Australian marine engineer came and asked him, everyone says you have seen the God. I have come all the way from Australia to know where is the God. Can you show it to me? For that, Ramana Maharishi said, why don't you just move your finger? He said he has moved his finger. He said, when you are able to move your finger, the energy which makes you to move, that is God. That you will understand when you find some problem, when you are not able to move the finger. Then you will find hundreds of reasons, because the nerve must have been affected and that would have gone bad and all. This is like that, because the Chanakya Niti, that is a very beautiful, Chanakya is telling, I am just, because once the God has brought me into this world, what is there to worry? Because be it animal or me and all, He provides the milk to the mother feeds you. Till such a time you are able to take care of yourself. Who else would have done? Because He has done it and He has given it to us. Like, He is the one who enables you. So even every part of the energy, every part of the DNA that occupies this controller, He is giving you the right direction for you. And the body is a temple. He is residing. So we will have to look after the body. And based on His internal controller, once you realize, when you do in this world, you will have to do your duties as well as whatever has been assigned to you. When you do the duty with the total devotion as sort of only your duty, as a sort of your duty only, without any selfish interest, naturally you get the bliss. The bliss in the sense, you don't have to, it is not a state of, something unimaginable and all. It gives you some sort of a sense of satisfaction. You are not disturbed. You are not, you agitated. You don't have any dilemmas. You are able to move through. In a simple life also, you will not have any problem whatsoever. And even when you reach a stage where you have to look after a very big, even a nation or a corporate or your own big establishment or household, everything, you will not get agitated for any of the happenings, because you will have to interact with other human beings. They are also conditioned by the experience. When others are also conditioned by the experience, you are also conditioned by the experience, you take it to a level, nothing disturbs you. Then you will be able to objectively provide help to others. Others will also receive your vibration. They will also be able to become perfect. In Ramaraja, when we talk about, in the Ramaraja, everyone was like that. So there was no reason of any crime or anything like that. People have realized. That is why, there was one particular Ramayana sloka also we must be remembering. Yascharamo pasyetu yamcharamo na pasyati nindate sarva lokeshu savavatma apya vagarhete. Because when Rama, you are not able, whoever has not seen Rama, that is your internal controller, the God who is inside you, And whoever has not been seen by Rama, when you are not able to receive the grace of the God, he wants to help you. He is with you. He is walking with you. He is sleeping with you. He is dining with you, and he is going with you. When you face the problem, he is there by your side to help you. But as long as you don't proceed to have the inward journey, he is not in a position to help you. That is why, because we are trying to have all this knowledge to get internally. When have this knowledge, you can see people, who have that, because some of the people maybe in the day-to-day life we might be encountering, they may not be showing up, but when they are undisturbed, when they have a clarity of thought, when they live a life, fulfilled life, contentment, that is the final bliss we will have to get. This is the purpose of first to 8 slokas. And then came to the second part of the slokas. We are in the second part. Slokas from 9 to 14, they say what are all these sadhanas, upasanas, when you have to do to get into the inward journey. What is that you will have to do? See, 9 to 14, they have got 3 categories of sloka, 9 to 11 and 12 to 14. They say 9 to 11, they have 2 concepts of vidya and avidya. Vidya and avidya both are necessary. Avidya is the one you should understand in the world. When you are indulging in this world, when you are interacting with this world, whatever you are doing, to your utmost sort of ability to do it, whatever you will be getting it will only get, because you will try to get more comfort, more better way of living, and rather, because trying to get as much resources as possible for yourself, maybe for your generations and all those things, it will be there. In that process, what it will happen is, in the indulging in the world with that, it will slowly it will wean away. It's a magnet. It will take you away from your inward journey. So you should know, you should live in this world. You should do you will have to interact. You will have to live like any normal person. But you should not always be affected by the desires and the ambitions which are not right in nature. That's why the very first sloka, why it is so important is Isavasyam idagum sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. The Isha is pervading every part of the world. There is no nook and corner he is not there. Not only that, he is not occupying this world, he is occupying all other galaxies, known, unknown. We might have discovered some galaxies. There are so many galaxies undiscovered also. He is pervading that part also. So when he is pervading that part also, when he is here, there is no place. He is inside you also. Apart, you don't have to search for him anywhere. He is very much inside you. Ishavarsham idagam sarvam yatkincha jagatyam jagat. There is no place he is not there. Tene taktena bunjitaha is whatever he has given to you. Because there are 2 types of meaning. One is Shankara has given one meaning. Srimad Madhvacharya has given one meaning. Ramanuja has not done any sort of exposition of Upanishad. One of his disciples called Vedanta Desika, he has done for Isavasyaupanishad, but not in a great detail. They have taken only few of the slokas. Only 4 slokas has been considered by Ramanuja himself for reference. Rest of that they have not done. I think, because subsequently some others have given the Upanishad and all, but basically it is Shankara and Madhvacharyas, whoever, their disciples, they have given a lot of explanations on that. In that, what they are telling, Shankara is giving a sort of a very higher this one. So when you live in this world, you will have to tyaga, you give up everything. Your desire, over a period of time, the final, when you live a life, contented life, and finally you do all your duties, as per Advaita, you reach the base camp. You reach the base camp of Everest. That's all. To go to Everest, you will have to go still further. That is not possible for the human beings in a worldly life at the moment. Because once you want to reach the, suppose if so many people are trying to climb the Mount Everest, how many has climbed? Maybe within 100 only people are there, even though young, old and all together. Maybe 100, 120, 125 and all. A lot of people, several thousands of people have lost their life by trying to climb. So that is a concept, philosophical concept that we will go separately, because it is basically all the acharyas have derived their concept from Prasthanatriya. Prasthanatriya is, one is Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra is a constitution which is required to understand the Vedas. Vedas have got so much of knowledge in their Samhitas, Brahmanas, and Aranyakas. There are so many words which have to be understood, and in Veda, all the words have got minimum three meanings. Kanishta Tayartaha. It can have more meanings also depending upon the context. In order to understand how each word can be derived and understood, the Brahma Sutra is a constitution. Again, it has been given by our Vyasa and Krishna Dvaipayana. He has given that. Based on that, only all the acharyas have done a treatise, commentaries, bhashyas on this Brahma Sutra. Brahma Sutra. Next comes the Upanishads. Upanishads are nothing but the condensed versions of the knowledge thread from the Vedas. While it is so, this Isavasyaupanishad Upanishad is not at the end of the Upanishad itself. It is from one of the Samhitas itself. It is the 40th Samhita in Rig Veda. It is part of the Veda itself. As such, it has been taken out. It has been given here. So when this Samhita has come here, it is as good as a Veda. It is part of the Veda. So you cannot distinguish Veda and Upanishad. Upanishads are nothing but the thought threads of the Veda condensed and given as a Sara. And Veda has got its own different explanations, detailed explanations are there. So this Upanishad so they have also done the treatise on this Upanishad. Shankara has also done, he has written his Bhashya on 10 of the Upanishads, like Isavasya. Srimad Madhvacharya also written that. And for Srimad Madhvacharya's Upanishad, there is a Bhashyas are written by one famous Acharya called Jaitirtha, and Raghavendra Swami also has written a Kantartha. And some of the Upanishads, other than two Upanishads, Vyasatirtha he has also written that. Likewise, in the Shankara Bhashya also Vidyaranya has written, and then Vachaspati Mishra and the other people have also written. There are a lot of Bhashyas are there. And there itself little different nuances, connotations and all that. We will have to understand all these interpretations have been done based on at that time. The Shankara was in 7th or 8th century of this era, and Ramanuja was in 10th, 11th, and Madhva was 11th, 12th. So there is, at that time of their living, the society, whatever shape it was, whatever influence it was, and how it has to be brought to Sanatana Dharma, that was the focus of the Acharyas at that point of time. So based on that, they have written. When Shankara has come, the Buddhism has almost spread in most of the places. Jainism was having its own influence spheres. There is one Charavaka, one philosophy was there. Basically, they were all Hindus, but they were not living exactly by the Vedic concepts. They said, you look after your body. You meet the needs of the body, that is good enough for you to live. When you leave the body goes, that nothing lives. Unless you have lived your life, that is the biggest spoon. You don't have to worry about that. That type of philosophy was there because people they didn't have the means to know, and a lot of them, even the resources, there were droughts, there were also droughts, there were also floods, lot of things were there. We didn't have so much of information spread. Each one was living in their own area to their best of ability. So that was the time. When Shankara has brought in, because he brought in the concept to get the people into the Sanatana Dharma and trying to bring them into a focus. That is why he wrote it. Subsequently, when Ramanuja came, Ramanuja Vishishtadvaita as a concept, it was Vaishnavism was existing. But Ramanuja was one of the subsequent acharyas. He has got a Purvacharyas also. But he created some sort of a revolution. He got people, whoever has said, you Om Namo Narayana, he becomes a Vaishnava. In Trikoshti or one place, where if you go to the top of the temple, from there, he just said, everyone, whoever is telling Om Namo Narayana, he becomes a Vaishnava. Because he wanted to bring to people, people were not knowing, because they were not knowing, God is something only few Brahmins who knows the Vedas and other things they are doing. We don't have any idea. Even some of the Brahmins, who are also not able to continue their vocation, they were also not knowing, what is the scriptures, how to go about. So he brought it in some sort of a social revolution. So that's why in Tamil Nadu he is considered to be one of the social reformer. And subsequently when Madhvacharya came, Madhvacharya found there are so many influences and people were going by only one whatever they thought, and they took it only as a means. In that process, quite a bit of confusion was there. and there was no orderly way of looking into the Vedas, Upanishads, and other things. So, in fact, in that part of the Karnataka, Jainism was prevalent at the time. Jainism has an influence. In fact, some part of the small Christianity has set in, because in the Mangalore being a port, a lot of people have come under. So, different type of philosophies were there. Then he came and he established this Dvaita philosophy and take away, and he propounded the concept. And he, once he has come, he being an Acharya, he looked into earlier Bhashyas, and he said, from his point of view, how these Bhashyas could be sort of refined and reverted with a new exposition, new meaning. That is how he brought this. This entire philosophy, finally, they are based on the Bhashyas of all Dvaita, Advaita, Visishtadvaita, everything is based on the Bhashyas of Brahma Sutra, Upanishads, and the Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita was considered to be the monumental, though it is part of Mahabharata, it has given all the saras of all the Upanishad. It is like a cow. So when you take it milk, so you get saras of all the Upanishad. You need not go into all the Upanishad, you get the sara of that. But you know the sort of the refinement and refer how it has come, we come to the Upanishad. In fact, I would like to repeat what I have said. The Upanishad doesn't give you no teaching. It doesn't criticize you, doesn't rather propound you, rather it doesn't advise you and all. It says as a matter of fact, this is what all the rishis have realized. When the rishis have realized, when you mean, it is, because whenever you try to assuming, I try to write something on my experiences, I will be conditioned by my experiences. I will try to color it with my experiences. Whereas when the rishis and the sages, when the Shruti, what we have called in Sanatana Dharma, that is why it is never reduced into books. It is only by the word. But because unless you have a guru, you can't learn the Vedas or Upanishads from your guru. It is imparted to him. First, they will make your mental condition appropriate enough, propitiate enough to receive the knowledge of the Veda, Upanishad, as well as all the scriptures. Then when it is passed on one to one from other, it is not only a sort of a literal passing, it is the passing the experience to you. When it is passing the experience to you, triggering you to think and find your own meaning. It is not that he has said, and because that is why we could produce so many acharyas in the lines. Everyone could sort of think themselves and give it and all. So this can be very well explained, because that's why, in the last sloka of Bhagavad Gita, you see, because everyone is popular knowing that. Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno, Yatra Partho Danudvaraha, Tatra Sri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. We can give different explanations and we can say, because Arjuna refers to the action and Yogeshwara represents to your, this sort of a Sthita Prajna, and you should not have, all those Raga, Dvesha, and finally you do it. It is a journey. It is never a destination. Let us understand one thing in our Sanatana Dharma, in all our Bhashyas, Upanyas, scriptures, nothing says it is the destination. It is only the journey. Because this birth is one of the births. The soul has existed several births before, and it may also exist for several births afterwards. It will carry all its experience. It will create its own repository of the knowledge in the chitta. When you do it, you go on refining yourself, and after several, because you will find some of the births, and finally you will get the redemption. In fact, Buddha is supposed to have attained nirvana in his 17th birth. This you will come to know when you go to a place called Dambola in Sri Lanka. There is some sort of a caves where the Buddhist monks have resided to be, to do their sort of, the dhyana and all. There, they have made, his 17 births, how he has reformed, finally he has come to the nirvana and all. It is only for him. Whereas there is a beautiful magnum opus of Shankara called Viveka Chudamani. In Viveka Chudamani, in the second sloka, he says, this Narajanma, what we have got, it is almost after 1 crore janmas, 1 crore births. Maybe we might have been animal, plant, everything and all. Finally, we got it. He gives, it's not only a sort of, he's giving a metaphor. It's a metaphor is not necessarily it is, because it has taken so much of a life to refine ourselves and come to this level. So there is a journey. Continuously, we will have to a journey. But when coming to this sloka, last sloka of Gita, when he says Yatra Yogeshwara Krishno Yatra Partho Dhanudara Tatta Sri Vijayo Bhutir Dhruva Nitir Matir Mama. What he says, it is my opinion. They say it is a postulation. It is not given. It is not a gospel. It is just my opinion. That is making you to trigger your thought, understand in your own way. Then you understand that it gets established. It is not by someone telling you and you taking it. It is in our dharma. In Sanatana Dharma, why it has sustained all these days is everyone has tried to realize. In fact, it is no exaggeration when Dr. Radhakrishnan had said, if there are 100 million people, there are 100 million ways of attaining the God. Your puja may be different, your upasana may be different, my puja may be different, my upasana may be different. But all of us have got a common concept. We are trying to understand ourselves. That is why it has sustained. If we had only one book and if we had said you follow this book, this religion would have gone nowhere. It would not have been there and all. Our religion is not meant for that. It has the origin in the Om. The Om, Omkara Akshara is the origin. That Om, when we said A, U, and the Nata. Nata Bindu is also part of the Om. And once we had that, from there Gayatri has come. The Gayatri is Anushtup, the three padas of 8 Akshara. From there Purusha Suktam has come. From Purusha Suktam, this entire Veda has grown like a tree. That is why in 15th chapter of Gita, there is one particular sloka is there. The world is like an inverted pupil tree. The spiritual world, what God has created is a pupil tree with a lot of branches and all those things. And by the side, there is a big river is going on. That is God's spiritual world. You are on the other side in this world. When you see in the water, you are only seeing the mirage. It is inverted. The roots are up, whereas the tree and fruits are down below. That is why you have to have the inward journey. This is in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. It gives us a metaphor for us to understand how we will have to progressively do this. So this is how when we came to Avidya and Vidya, we came to know that Avidya is something to do with the knowledge that we are acquiring in the world, enabling us to go into our internal journey. Once you go into our internal journey, once you find the meaning that your desires are meaningless, and of course, you will have to do your duty, devoid of your desires, finally you get the final bliss. But it is required for us to have this avidya also. You will have to acquire the knowledge, because you will be able to acquire the knowledge only through this 24 part of the senses which are exposed to the world to receive the knowledge. And in that process, you will be receiving the 18 qualities that I will separately tell. I told Amarnath, I will have a separate session for him to give a brief on that. I will tell that qualities enable you to get into your inward journey. When you get into inward journey, you need both Vidya and Avidya, because the 9th mantra says, if you go only by Vidya, Avidya, you will go to the darkness. But if you go only by Vidya, you go to still further darkness. It startles you. What is that? Vidya is, we are getting further knowledge. Why should we go to the darkness? Then it says, because when you go into the Vidya, you will get totally enamored of the practices of the spiritual world and other things. In that, without your knowledge, you will get some ego into that. When vanity will come. When it comes, again subsequently it will totally take away whatever you have acquired all along. To avoid that, it says you have to have Vidya and Avidya both together. That is what we have seen from sloka number 9, 10 and 11. The same set of parody you can call. The similar set of 3 slokas are coming in 12, 13 and 14. 12, 13 and 14, instead of Vidya and Avidya, the words used are Sambhuti and Asambhuti. We have seen last session, this mantra number 12, which we said Sambhuti and Asambhuti. What is it? Sambhuti doesn't have, Asambhuti it is one unmanifest. It doesn't have its own existence. To understand in short, understandable way, you can call it as a matter. The matter doesn't have, matter will be here today and tomorrow it will change and it will go away, it will vanish. And Sambhuti is origin. Origin is the one which we will get it under. Whereas the interpretation is, Sambhuti is The Asambhuti is not only, because one who doesn't understand is not a creator. Finally we are all created by some power. If you don't understand, that is the Asambhuti. In the sense, because if you see, we are all in the world, DNA is there. We know how you can also create a human being nowadays. The technology has come. But finally, who is giving that even if you create it, there is an internal controller who gives all the energy. You don't get into entire flesh and blood, but you also get the other powers, because you get your thoughts, mind, finally the intuition, everything comes. Finally, who gives it? Who is that power? Is that power? And Sambhuti is the one who is not only as a creator, he does have got other aspects also. He is doing, he is creating, he is destroying in the yuga after yuga. It has been established in your entire Veda and literature. How many years, this has come about. The entire dating of the world and the dating of the world by our Upanishads and Shastras have by and large, because they may not be accurate, sort of a meeting point, but certainly it has established, it has come over. And so this has given us a sort of a base in which, you are able to reasonably get into a journey, and sadhaka, this will enable you to get further into your journey of inward journey and realizing the Swarupa Jnana. The Swarupa Jnana, when you are trying to realize the God, it is to the extent of your own upasana, to your own conditions and your own effort. That will vary from person to person. It will not be same. See, some acharyas, great acharyas from this Shankaracharyas or the our acharyas and all, they would have realized, because they have gone to their experience and their focus, their upasana is at a level where they would have done it much higher. For us, in our level, we will do it. Entire how you have realized, how you understand will come only when you have undisturbed mind at all point of time. If you have bliss and you don't have any disturbance or dilemma at any point of your interaction with this world, that becomes the bliss. That is the bliss as far as we are concerned, and we should be able to try to attain that with our own upasana in our own conditions. This is a sort of a brief recap. Now we will go to the mantra number 13. The mantra number 13 is similar to mantra number 10, which we have seen, that 9 to 11 and 9 to 11. This is 12 we have seen. The 11 and 13 is parallel mantra. It is a sort of parody, you can see. Anyadevahu sambhavat, anyada ahu sambhavat, iti shushruma dhiranam yenastat vijachakshire. Anyadevahu sambhavat, anyada ahu sambhavat, iti shushruma dhiranam yenastat vijachakshire. The same 10th sloka was Anyadevahur vidyaya, anyatahur avidyaya, iti shushruma dhiranam yenastat vijachakshire. Same sloka, but vidya and avidya has been replaced by sambhavat and adhisambhavat. We will go by the patacheta, because what this each word in the sloka, that does give us the sort of a meaning, and from where we can proceed to the purport of this entire mantra. Anyada, the other different, anyat, there is no other way, anyat, because this is different, because when you do sambhavat and asambhavat, when you concentrate on the matter, or when you concentrate on the origin, or when you are concentrating as the concept of is not a creator, or there is no one to create, or he is only as the creator, he would have created, this type of a concept, if it comes to, the effect of this process of upasana is different. This effect of this process, how it is different, we will see. Because earlier they said, one will take you to the darkness, the sambhavat, once you see, you think, you only concentrate on matter, it takes you darkness. But once you do your upasana based on only origin, it takes you further darkness. But now they say, having come to that, they say when you do upasana either way, the effects are different. So finally you will have to come to integral upasana. See, the 9 to 11 when we discussed, finally we brought to the understanding the concept of vidya and avidya, why both of them have to be integrated in your upasana and God is, it is like a pole vault. In a pole vault, you keep a long pole at a distance and you run with the pole. The pole is the experience what you get from this world, and what you are trying to do your inward. With that, you are getting into your inward journey. The pole is finally put into a peg. There is a peg, and in that peg, you will have to launch the pole and to pull it in, then you will have to take it up. It lifts you up. When you lifts you up, you get the experience. When you lifts up, it is Upanishad, as Madhvacharya has said. Once you get into the scriptural sort of the understanding, you get lifted. Every time you get some sort of a elevated energy, it takes you. So you go up. So once you go up, the bar which is there is the where you want to cross and get to the highest bliss. When you get the highest bliss, you use the pole, go up. If you leave at halfway, or if you are enamored of your scriptural practice, you will come back. You should not be enamored. You should go about, you should continuously think about without any sort of a disturbance, go about. Once you go, when you cross the bar, you go on the other side of the bliss, but you leave the pole. If you hold the pole, you will again come back. It is a sort of such a subtle effort and experience to get the final bliss, avidya and vidya. Here also it is similar to like that. But here, what is more important is we cannot exactly impose the same thing. Here we will have to understand the nature of the God, matter and origin. Matter and origin, because there is a conceptual difference, in different philosophies here. We will combine it and we will come to your in the Asambhavat, and what we are talking is Anyada, other different. Anyada Ahuhu, only Ahuhu. They are learned say, all the people who had experienced all our gurus. See, one of the important part of this particular sloka is your understanding should be through the Guru Parampara. You should have understand from the Guru who had his knowledge from his Guru, and finally his Guru should have had his knowledge from his Guru, and finally the Acharya who must have imparted to his, you will have to understand. If there is any disconnect between these things, why we are telling, why the wise is telling when they say, wise is not someone who has just read or who has understood. He is not going. You will have to understand through your Guru Parampara. That is what they are saying. Because our Acharya is there, Srimad, our Madhvacharya is there. And below him, and after him, a lot of other Acharyas have come. They have come. Like Shankara was there. After Shankara, there are other Shringeri and other Acharyas are there, and they have also come. And you have to understand through the succession of them and through the gurus. Finally, you will have a guru who would have had understanding from one of the succession gurus. So that is very important. If you don't have that, your understanding will not be full. It will not be plenitude. If it is be half complete. That is what they say. Sambhavat, by correct understanding as a creator, origin. When finally this entire world, which is created, the entire, all the sun, moon, plants, all animals, all other things, all galaxies, everything has been created. Finally, he is the power behind that. Without that, nothing would have existed. Once you understand that, by correct understanding, the origin or the correct understanding as a creator, Asambhava, by correct understanding, is a sustainer and destroyer. Destroyer in the sense it is not something in a simple way of death or anything like that. It is, he completely takes away sort of, the destroyer in the sense, if you have a body, the body may get off, but the soul is always permanent. He sustains you as a soul all through. See, that's why one of the slokas, Srimad Acharya, our Acharya, when he has said, Srishti Samhara Leela Vila Satatam. Srishti Samhara Leela Vila Satatam in Dwadasa Shostra is come. It is like a nature, it is like a play for them. It is like a sort of, it is happening, it's the nature of the Almighty is Srishti, Samhara, Sthita, and again, because recreation, it is there, whatever path you want, finally the Almighty, the Sanatana Dharma, it is like that. It is in the nature of it. It doesn't have to be specifically, they don't have to, because Brahma has got so many years. Brahma years are that we call Kalpa. So Kalpa after Kalpa, Yuga after Yuga, all the creations have come. All the creation, all the sun, moon, everything and all the cosmos have been created. All of them were there. And there also, everyone was assigned duties. Prana was there, Varuna was there, Vayu was there, Agni was there. They have been assigned the duties. They all done. And even now we have also got the Devatas in our body assigned to the Indriyas. They control and they give the full-fledged energy to the body, by reason of which we are able to perform. All those things are there. So therefore, It's samhara, and it is a sort of a nature of the God. It by reason of which we are able to get the benefit of the his during this particular birth. It is one of the creation, but our soul is existing immemorial time, even before this birth, and it will continue to remain, several births after also. Shushuma, we have heard. Asambhavan, by correct understanding as a sustainer and restraint. Iti, thus. Shushuma, we have heard. We have heard from all the acharyas, all the gurus, all the succession, all the gurus who have followed him, who have received their knowledge from their acharya. Dhiranam, Dhimatam. Dhiranam is the finest attainment of the guru. So they don't have, the guru is not the one, who has simply been this, like Shankara, saying Ramanuja, like Acharyas and Vyasa, all those Narada. Narada is the highest of the sages, because Radha, it doesn't have taint, it doesn't have incompleteness. Narada. That is why, he is sort of full-fledged, plenitude. He has got always, what happens is he has always got the thought of the Almighty, the inward journey is there and all. Why it is always being emphasized, you should always give it to the Almighty, you should think of it and all. Because the soul is permanent, it is going to exist. When you are going for that, whatever thought is there in your mind, you become that. At the time of final journey comes to an end, whatever thought that is prevalent at that point of time in our mind, that is the one conditions in our the next sort of the manifestation of us into whatever being we are. So that is that is one thing. Another one, when you have that thought continuously, since he is the internal controller existing in all other beings, he always gives you the perfect way of dealing with other beings, other sentients and insentients. That is why you will feel most of the acharyas and all, when you see in Mahaparival, when you have seen, you will be same. He is neither is smiling and all, he is same. He is everyone feels he got the blessings from him. You may be a mighty monarch or a peevish beggar, whoever has gone seen Mahaparival, and you would have seen he blessed me. That's what they will say, because that is exactly because that bhava when he creates, they are the one who have evolved like that. They are the ones Dhiranam. Dhiranam is like, because normally it is explained for the purpose of the courageous, one is invincible, but that is how it is. But in this context, in the Veda, when they have used, in the Upanishad they have used, it is Dhiranam highest evolved. So I think for them there is no more evolution required. That is the level. Dhiranam, the gurus of great knowledge and understanding, who knows that Vijayachakshire. Vijayachakshire is who have expounded. They have given us that knowledge. From there we understand, all these things, they are different, and the effect is different. What is that it going to be make any different and all? See, the thing is, when you asambhavat, when you take a sort of a literal meaning, it is those who don't have any standing on their own. Those who don't have any standing on their own, like lot of demigods, lot of sort of the other creations, people might have, you might have seen lot of upasana is there, Shakti upasana is there, and you have got lot of gurus, they have got their own god, you come and pray here, or you come and do upasana here, you will get your problem solved. And they will say, everyone, you are worried, because all of us are worried, because we are dealing with the world every day we do, and now we are locked down, and I have to get tomorrow's groceries, I am worried. I have to plan for something else I couldn't do, because I have planned, because 6 months before what I have planned, nothing I am able to do it now, because I am confined. If I have to do something outside my home, it is not going to be there and all. Then what you accept, what it is, and you try to get, what is the best out of it. And every day, what your existence, whatever is you are getting, it is a prasada. Someone comes and gives you milk, someone comes and gives you groceries, and someone tells you, because the vaccine is coming and he is giving you hope, all those things. But, you bar with that, and finally, at least you are able to be with the family 24 hours. Unlike earlier times, you would have a complaint, you are not always available, you are going here and there, at least that complaint will not be there. Now the complaint will be, you are available all the 24 hours, you will have to do breakfast, you will have to do lunch, you will have to do dinner and look after you. That is that type of thing. Of course, you will also be participating. It's not that it is that. It is like that. So therefore, when the effect is there, when you pray to, someone says, you do this upasana, it is good, or you do this, You will do that, but all of them finally get the power from the Almighty, the superpower, the primordial power. He only gives the power. Etymologically, everything finally points to him. Whether you call him Mitra, Varuna, Vayu, Agni, or anything, finally it points out to him. Therefore, don't lose faith. Don't get into, because some at point of time, just to get a little comfort for your mind or anything like that, don't get wind away by these demigods and all. And Gita also says, no one has any power. Even the sages doesn't know me. Demigods doesn't know me. They all derive powers from me. Even they will not be able to understand. That means he is saying, like, in everywhere, the greatness of Krishna, if you really see the port of it, if you read the Gita properly and all, this is what I feel, this is what my opinion. He doesn't say, this is what I say, do it. No, this is what my opinion. He wants you to understand. You want to internalize, imbibe. You make it part of your DNA, understand it. That's what he says. When he says that, because here also it is like that. And in that context, lot of discussions and all this. He is not only sustainer, destroyer, all those things once you understand that also. What is that? By understanding what is that you are going to do and all, you will leave everything to him and you will do your duty. Because even now, whatever duty you have to do, perform to your family, your siblings, or within the confines of your house, in the lockdown also, you will do without any hassle, without any disturbance. You do that. And don't get into wind away by, because you can do this and you will get lot of WhatsApp message. You do this, you do that and all. You practice whatever it is there. And if you go by WhatsApp messages and on WhatsApp message what it says, the other one will negate and tell you something else. It's not that. So you decide yourself, you have full faith in him and follow your own internal intuition. The intuition is more important. Very often the lot of established theories, established fallacies, because even on virus, lot of debates and discussions are going, what is its composition and how it generates, germinates. It is not a virus first, they say it is only a protein, it gets attached to the live cell and gets its life into that and all. And now I think again there are a lot of other concepts are coming about. All these things are totally, you don't bother about it and all. It will have its own, because it's all sort of trying to disturb you. You concentrate on what is the best practice you do. Saucha Vidhi, we have got, even our earlier times they said, whatever washing with the hand and other things, we were doing it in our villages. You can't get into the house unless, you wash your feet 3 times and hands. And then that is the practice. No one had to tell us, because everyone was doing, we were doing it. Over a period of time, we gave it up. We have got this, you got the liquids have come and you do that, and we have done that and all we have done, and we have not followed it that also perfectly. Now it has been asked to follow. Everyone, it has become a sort of a rule for us. We are doing it. So therefore, nothing to bother about and all. You just have full faith. Do your upasana. Do your karma, whatever comes, and take it with a bliss. Every day when even some inconvenience is there, finally it is sort of getting away from your side. It's a God who is giving the prasada to you. And suddenly, because here some shops were closed and suddenly they open it. But whenever it opens, you get whatever it is, whatever little thing available to you on that day, that is a prasada. You will take it and all. This attitude normally takes you into your inward journey and live the life comfortably, contently, without any hassle. This is all the acharyas. There is no difference between any of the things. While there may be explanations given for sambhutis and asambhuti, there is explanation given, because some acharyas, Shankara has given it. It is asambhuti is unmanifest. The unmanifest is one, because they have given an interpretation like that etymologically, and sambhuti is manifest. Manifest is the one which you can feel with your senses. Unmanifest is which you can't see, adrishti. What you can see and feel is manifest. What you can't see and not feel is unmanifest. As per the Advaita concept, he is the final God, the unmanifest, who has to be. Finally, how will you attain? By giving up all the desires, by giving up all the sort of tyaga, you do everything mentally and all. You get. It's an involution. But what the involution, because about the dark matter, we say, we got, the Big Bang was there. Now they say it is black hole. Black hole is nothing, it doesn't allow you. Even the earth has got the magnetic power. Once the magnetic power increases, It doesn't allow any of the rays to go beyond its circumference. It draws it back. When it draws it back, that involution, when it takes back, entire earth cringes and gets into some sort of, it is just example. Likewise, there are so many stars. It has been proven, at least that's what, because we get to know. We can't exactly understand that. NASA and other people, they are telling that involution. So finally, the sort of a becoming part of the Brahma or is the power is the involution. That's why he said, you will only reach the base camp when you do all those things, and then you will have to climb up. That is what that is why the manifest unmanifest concepts have come. For us, the simple concept is you do all your duty, submit to your guru, or because as per the mantra itself says, Anedekam Manasojaviyo. In that sloka, what is this? Taspin napo Matarishva datati. What it says is, whatever you do, you submit to Matarishva. Matarishva is the cosmos, the final power who is next only to God, who only can take all your karmas to make it without any bondage to the God. Matarishva. That Matarishva, the Dvaita concept says it is Pranadevaru, Mukhya Prana. Whereas in the Advaita concept says they call concept called Hiranyagarbha. The Hiranyagarbha is the one finally takes you and he refines you, and he is benevolent. He does it and he refines, and all the duties when you do with a sense of duty, you don't get any bandhana with that. So when you don't get any bandhana with that, you don't have any sort of a account to carry. See, there are three type of karmas. Prarabdha karma, we call it. Sanchita karma is the one which comes with us in the birth. And the agami karma is the one, finally it remains. Sanchita karma is total. Sanchita karma minus prarabdha karma is agami karma. But all these things can be exhausted in this birth once you do with a sense of duty and submit to Matarishva. If a Dvaitin is called this, Matarishva is Pranadevaru, and you submit it to him, and he takes it, because he is the one, finally takes it and he does. And all of them are very benevolent. They want you to, even when you are sort of, even when you don't do it properly also, they try to help you. This is what, the entire concept is. Because once you have that support, once you feel there is a support for you, you will definitely do it. Because why you will not do it? Because when you have got all enabling factors God has given and all the powers have given, you will be doing it. So when you do it, you have to integrate both. Sambhuti and Asambhuti, both concepts you will have to integrate. As we have integrated Vidya and Avidya, it is like a pole vault. When you pole vault, you need a pole also. You will have to have your experience of climbing up and going, you are wafting in the air, and then cross the bar on the other side and leave the pole. Because you need the knowledge only to the extent once you attain. Once you attain that, you don't need it. Automatically you will be sthita prajna. You will not be disturbed. You will be contented. You will accept whatever comes. You will take it as the prasada. Once that comes, that is the concept finally it will take you to it. This mantra 12, 13 and 14 has been taken mainly because it is not a repetition. It is basically brought about. The concept is first three are microcosm. This is macrocosm. The avidya, vidya, what we talked about is the knowledge we acquire in this world and the inward journey, how to proceed. This is microcosmic and this one. Sambhuti and asambhuti, macrocosmic. Once we have got all this vidya and avidya and integral upasana, once you have to realize the God, the sadhana finally, the realization of the God to our best of ability, when you have to go, that is this 12, 13 and 14 enables us. This 13 which comes to that, this says the effects are different. So you integrate it, you combine it and take it. You understand he is not only the creator, you understand he is not only the origin, he is also the sustainer, liberator, and takes you further into that. So once you have that concept, once you have full faith, you will not be bothered in your process. You will totally do with all the devotions that is possible within your existing conditionalities, efforts. With this, we will try to have some sort of because it is a sort of conceptually abstract, and certainly Amar would find it because it is suddenly he has been brought into the midst of it. And anyway, I will talk to you, and we will have a separate 3 to 4 sessions to give some sort of a some sort of a focus on the earlier ones. So you will have a full-fledged interpretation. This Upanishad is very important. It's small Upanishad, but it is one of the grand Upanishad. Because as Mahatma Gandhi has said, the first mantra alone is sufficient to sustain the Sanatana Dharma for millions of years. With this, and we will have to understand the importance of Guru. We should not forget that Guru, all our Acharyas, all other successors, they are very, very important. Because see, once you hear, because once you, every time you look into the scripture and see, every time you find, thinking something, you find a little more bliss. Because our ignorance goes off, and because our avidya goes off, there is no end to it. The Gita, that's why Mahatma Gandhi said why he regards Gita as then whenever he has an insurmountable problem. Quit India movement he has announced, but he was not sure whether it will be successful, because at that time World War was also going on. There is one set of people, they said we should not stabilize the country. Now after all we will have to support them, let them come out of the war and then they will think of it. And the other one, they wanted a separate country like the Muslim League. He was literally in a quandary. Then he said, I go into the Gita, you read some verses here and there. He is not going in an organized way, but it gives him the enormous courage. He said, I can face, even further opinions are there and all. I can just push through. With that confidence and with that sort of the total dedication, people could understand him. Though he was only talking in Hindi, people in South who doesn't have any iota of knowledge of Hindi could understand him because his vibration. He was talking, he's not a great orator. If you speak if you hear his speeches, it is a very small, anyone as if they are reciting as children reciting, it is like that. But it gets into the heart. Once it gets into the heart and mind, there is no power on the earth, which can change that. So this is the importance, with which we have got this. And we can certainly have, because Amar, you can ask whatever questions, so as others, Raghavendra sir, Balram Prabhu and Krishnan sir. I think it will be basically a learning for all of us. It's a learning for me. All of us are exchanging the ideas only. It's an exchange. So it's also a group, in circle, we are exchanging. In that we will be getting mutually the benefit. Thank you. I think if anything is there, we can discuss. Otherwise, we can go for Shanti Pata. Amar, anything you would like to say? I think I would like to hear from you. Being the, I think you can give a sort of a dispassionate and whatever you feel like you can tell. Correct. Actually, Amar, what you have said is absolutely correct. Because even if we discuss and all this, whenever I go back to one of these slokas, I find still, because I have not understood the port of it and all. Because see, so much meaning they have given, so much of exposition. Because Sanskrit is such a fine language. Once you read it, and it shows, once I get little more matured and little more, the open to receive. Once I open up, the Americans used to say, break the barriers. When you want to get the knowledge, once we break the barrier, then you get the knowledge. Once you are transparent, you are able to, in the relationship or anything like that. Breaking the barrier is very important. And that is what this Upanishads and great Vedas tell. Whatever little, we could exchange, we could understand, we are discussing here. By God's grace, because God's grace is very important. I am fully reminded of Mr. Prabhu. I know him for last 50 years. In none of his letters or sentences, without by God's grace, it will not be there. That is very, very important. Whatever you do, whatever it is there, it is God's grace is finally important for us, because He has brought us to this level of discussion. He will make us understand. We will invoke His grace and go for that. Yeah, that is because we thought, how we can understand. For my own understanding also, I also read what is that, we'll have to do. Also think that is something, and in fact, that was similar to, in his different circumstances, what Mr. Parthasarathi, he is the one, who is giving, and is Pune based. He nowadays, is little old, he is not coming, his daughter is coming. And she is taking a lot of Gita classes and all. He was a great exponent of Upanishad and Gitas and all, very highly learned man. In fact, he was in London School of Economics and he left that and he came and did his own business in Chennai, and then he left all that and he became a sort of a person. He is a very highly knowledgeable person. He has given this type of he understands, how the youngsters, how they can understand the concept and all. In one of his lectures, he gave this type of example in a different circumstances. I thought that is more appropriate for us, our limited understanding, and so we will be able to take that. Yes, Raghavendra, sir. Yeah. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Correct, correct. I got it. Correct. Yeah, correct, correct. Hmm. Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. See, in fact, the nation is alive. The nation is energetic. Nation is thriving, throbbing. Unless you have different opinions. In fact, in Gandhiji's days, we have not seen what are all the alternate opinions that has been expressed. See, in fact, yeah, it is. See, if you see, it is much more critical than what we talk about now. It's yeah, including see, it is yeah, correct, correct. So that only a person who is outside the country who has seen, from that perspective. There are a lot of books. Even Foster has written, and so many. Romain Rolland has written. They have also criticized. But those critical part and all, is not because, see, as a country in India, we have never been as a sort of a whole nation as a concept. It was not there for a long time. And therefore, it is quite possible, for the people, whatever gives that concept, is good. See, there should be correct. Absolutely. See, yeah, 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 yeah. Well, I fully agree with you. In fact, we should have a this critic on that. See, you can see and all. And another thing is, we should understand he is from a family in the background, of his society at that point of time. The ahimsa is some sort of considered to be the glorious one, in that part of country, and the Jains and other things and all. And it was appealing. See, not only that, whatever appeals at that point of time, suppose if violence appeals now, it will become a concept, because violence not a sort of a reason. If yeah, it's the response when you dharma, correct, correct, correct. Yeah, in Dharma Shastra, yeah, correct. Dharma Shastra also permits in certain circumstances it is there and all. It's there. It's correct. Correct. See, so we have a professional army for that only, because professional armies, their job is to respond. The response has to be adequate, not only adequate, and it has to be insurmountable. That has to be there. Of course, there's basically one great thing is we should have these alternate views and critics in the nation. Then only, we are throbbing, sustaining, and living nation. Otherwise, we would have been dead and a banana republic. So we should not become that as long as we have it. See, all our scriptures gives that, because that's why we can independent view, independent upasana. You can, supposing you get into your own prasthanatriya, if you write bhashya for all the three, you can propound your own way of living. And each one of us have been given the opportunity and liberty. If we can do that, there is nothing like that. That is why we are an open society. And no restrictions, there is no, you have to go to the temple on this day or nothing at all. If you possible do puja. If you don't do puja, it's good enough. And as long as, if you are having a clean heart, that is good enough. So likewise, we have got the liberty, and we can always have alternate views. The alternate views shows, because we are full of energy, thriving, and we are a nation, living nation. That's it. Yes, Prabhu sir? Absolutely, absolutely.